Second Region Child Protection Court Number 1, Hardin County, is now in session. We are proceeding virtually this morning by agreement and pursuant to, bear with me, and pursuant to Texas Government Code 24.1017 and 74.094 cases on our docket this morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The interest of CC for a continuation of resumption of final trial. I believe there has been a joint agreed motion for continuance. Is that right, Ms. Moore, Ms. Lesniak?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. So I believe if the court grants that, then that's going to put us beyond the 90 days, the extended additional 90 days by which I need to render. So in presenting your motion, who's ever going to present the joint motion, give me some evidence. And I did read the motion, and so I believe it's pretty much set forth in the motion for continuance as well, but enough evidence for good cause for me to consider extending the 90 days. So who wants to present the motion? Let me first, while you all are deciding, still have several who are coming in the courtroom. Let me call Mother Amber LeBlanc. Amber LeBlanc.
Your Honor, I talked to her a few minutes ago. She's supposed to call me back here in about 3 minutes. I'm going to have her on my cell phone to listen.
Right.
That was the only way we could get it done.
Right. I do recall that and the order yesterday for her to appear.
I can tell you when she calls me back. We're paying for it, so I had her not call until, I was sure we were going to be on.
Right. Okay, so let me call for Willie Carter Jr. Willie Carter Jr.
Honor, Mr. Carter is in the Hardin County Jail.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So no answer at this point from either parent, and the court having received information on their whereabouts this morning. So we might actually be finished before they appear virtually. So Ms. Zalesniak, Ms. Moore, who wants to present the motion?
I can do it, Judge. It's my concern about the case is I don't have the petitioner's records, the CPS records. I don't have access to impact, and they were not a part of the case file that I could see in the clerk's records. If we're having to proceed to a trial, I need those records to be able to effectively develop the issues in the case. I have some access to the criminal court's records, but I don't think that'll be sufficient as far as developing whether or not the parents have successfully been compliant with their family plan of service.
And Ms. Zalesniak, you have come up aboard during the recess in this trial, and fair to say you're brand new to this case.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually appeared on the case before yet. And the last time we were in, I say we were in court, I don't believe I was there, but I think that would have been before my hire date.
And we're in again the recessed trial. Okay.
Judge, may I add one thing?
Of course. Yes.
I also believe that at this point, in order to give the court the best evidence to make a decision, that this continuance would be in the best interest of this child. Otherwise, the court would be proceeding on not a full picture. So I think this is in the best interest.
All right. And Ms. Moore, you, of course, represent the child, CC.
Yes.
All right. Anything from you, Ms. Wright, and or Mr. Crocker?
No, I agree, Your Honor, and I've talked with Ms. Zelelniak about this, and tried to help get him some information and that sort of thing.
Okay.
She cannot get just can't get the records, and we did not, and I went back and looked, and we had not asked for redacted records in this case. And so there's just nothing there. I don't have the CPS records either, other than what we've had in court during this time period.
All right.
And Your Honor, to remind the court, this is not a termination proceeding due to some prior litigation and agreements developed through that. So I believe it would benefit my client for the state to have all of the records at their disposal so that the court would be able to see, as I think Mrs. Moore called it, the full picture.
Okay. All right. Thank you all. And actually, the court does not disagree with anyone at this point. The court does hereby determine that it's necessary to extend the statutory time by which to render pursuant to 263.4011. The court does find good cause, and the main ground being what the department has set forth and the others have confirmed in terms of Ms. Zelezniak's newness to the case and the lack of a sufficient and complete file to prosecute the case. The court also notes that it's not a termination case. I will say, probably no surprise, I would be really, really hard pressed to have to do this again. And I know none of you wants to. But just to let you know, worst case scenario, if we're at this point again, then you all really need to talk about the department taking PMC, frankly. And I don't think anybody wants that, but so hopefully we can achieve permanency without doing that, or perhaps by way of that. We'll just have to see. So the motion.
This call is being recorded and is subject to monitoring. To accept charges, press 1. To review, thank you for using Ocurrs. You may start to.
Okay, we might have Ms. LeBlanc now.
We have Ms. LeBlanc. Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Ms. LeBlanc, this is Judge Lockwood again. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, thank you very much. Is your time estimate, Ms. Zelezniak, still about a full day for this, to finish this?
I believe so.
Okay. Anyone disagree with that? Ms. Stanley, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
I can't tell whether you're in a car or a small aircraft, but are you in agreement?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So the court does, bear with me just a moment, does hereby, for the aforementioned grounds, extend the date by which to render for an additional 90 days. And Ms. Zalesniak, I don't think you would need an order to get your own records, but if you do, if somebody does, then just let me know.
I think it may be beneficial for me to go ahead and ask for an order for redacted records just so everybody can have them.
Okay, well, that will be granted, put expedited in all caps and bold and underlined.
Not to be a naysayer, do you think it's realistic, or does everyone think it's realistic that we can dispose of this in one day?
Maybe 1.5. I think that just depends on how much the parties want to testify. What are you thinking, Glenn? How many days?
One was a bit ambitious. I was thinking quite possibly two. I think it's going to come to no surprise to anyone involved here, considering my client's legal position, that I'm going to have him assert the Fifth Amendment on most, if not all, of the testimony other than name, rank, and serial number. However, even invoking that takes some time. And I know for a fact, is going to want to explore all the allegations. So I think it's probably closer to two. And if someone thinks I'm off base, just tell me and tell me you're crazy. You're reading it wrong. I mean, I'm open.
I think that's fair.
Judge, not trying to steal your thunder. I'm thinking one. I think it might not be able to be done in one.
Okay. Well, I have enough thunder to share, so feel free. I'm actually looking at August the 20th. That is a normal docket for us. At this point, we only have 5 cases that morning, services review. So most, if not all of those, should go fairly timely, if not quickly. So if we're going to need more than a day, maybe a day and a half, maybe 2, I think we can utilize 2/3 or a half of that day, and then from there get us a courtroom for a full day after that, and see where we go. So that's August the 20th, and that's a little bit aspirational, optimistic, but I think with a little help with the other cases, we can reach that, say 10:30. We'll set it for 10:30, and we'll try to minimize setting other things, resetting other things to that date. And then from there, we'll try to find a date that we have a courtroom and all of you are available, and dedicate an entire day, and see if we can get it done in a day and a half. If not, if we can't, we can't. Okay, and so Ms. Zalesniak, in drafting this order, if you will include, please, my stated grounds, which is pretty much what you all were advocating for in terms of extending this pursuant to 263-4011, including the dates, the 90 days from today, and then the trial date.
Do you want a separate order for the records?
Yes, please. And it might be good to include a date within the records that's prior to the resumption of the trial.
I have found that if I say within 14 days of the department receiving this order, that tends to work pretty well.
Right, that sounds good. Okay, anything now, obviously we're on YouTube, but anything Ms. Moore or Ms. Stanley or department that the court needs to know about the child and or the placement at this point that needs addressing? Okay. All right, so apparently not. Okay, anything else from anyone on Carter?
Your Honor, that'll be my only case today. Can I be excused?
You certainly may. Have a great weekend.
And it's the guardian ad litem's 21st birthday today. So I want to make sure that
The guardian ad litem turned 21.
21 today.
Well, Ms. Stanley, a very happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Thank
You
y'all.
you look like you're on your way somewhere.
Court ordered by you
What?
to Hill Country to do
Oh,
a home assessment. Yes, sir.
well, what a way to spend your birthday.
It
Well,
is. It's good.
Okay, well, there's some good sites and good restaurants that way.
Yes. Yes,
If you're into stuff like that. So you're welcome, I guess.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Y'all
thank you
have a good day.
for that. You are excused. Thank you. Okay, are we ready to get on the record at Langford? But before we do, are we commencing on the merits today merely?
Yes.
Yes, Judge. However, if you have time, and if you don't, it's okay. The child let me know she would like to speak with you. I told her if you were not booked today and if you had time that I could have her call in. I also told her it may not happen. So I just wanted to let you know.
Okay, well, let's talk about and she's 11, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about a date even before we commence. When did you all agree or envision to come back?
I don't think we have yet.
We haven't.
I'm free to come back anytime. I don't think this case will take very long. Michelle, you think it'll be pretty quick?
I believe it would be probably pretty quick.
And
And you only have one parent. Well, other parent has already relinquished, so we just have the one parent to go forward on.
right, and I believe I've signed an interlocutory order of termination, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I think we could probably do it on a regular docket day. Except for, I don't know if you want to meet with the child on a regular docket day or if you want to do that separate or whatever.
Well, let me ask you all this. You're not prepared or asking to finish today, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about when you all want to come back. So somebody want to offer up a month, and let's see, when does the child? Okay, so the child turns. Well, I'm looking and seeing when the child turns 12, so as not to say her birthday. Okay, bear with me just a moment. So we know from the other case that 90 days from today is September the 11th. So does anyone want to offer a month?
July.
Has Elvis left the building, Ms. McPherson?
Elvis is still in the building. That was the 13-year-old that walked past, and my other 5-year-old is still in the building.
Okay, I'm looking at July the 16th. We have several days back to back for a couple of protracted trials. The 16th is kind of right in the middle, and it's a normal docket day. But we have 11 on the docket, 3 of which are set at 1:30. Looking at some of the cases that are set at 9 and 10, I'm thinking maybe, and I want to hear what you all think in looking at that doc, whether you think we can squeeze Langford in.
Your Honor, I could get my supervisor to cover, but I'm going to be on vacation from the 13th to the 22nd, but I can get her up to date with everything.
Okay, from the 13th to the 22nd.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And certainly you will have filed a report.
Yes, sir.
So I think we'll be good in that regard.
Okay.
Do you all want to try it on the 16th?
I'm okay with that. I mean, I see that I have 3 other trials that day. One of them will be fast, so I don't think that one will be an issue. One of them, and 2 of them, I don't know how they're going to go. So I think this one, regardless, we could do in 15 minutes.
Okay. And at
Maybe
least
that's aspirational.
at
30.
least one, some of your trials are at 1:30 that day,
Yes.
right?
Mhm. But I'll be there all day, I'm sure. So whatever time.
Right. Okay. So let's go ahead and set it at 9 that day on July the 16th. That will be in person.
Oh.
July the 16th, 9 a.m. We have 3 permanencies after final order and 1 services review. So those should all go fairly quickly. And I believe maybe an adoption or 2 has taken place. So they may not all be on the docket by that
I
time.
just see a lot of I don't know.
So, Ms. Lesniak, any objections? Okay.
No, Your Honor.
I'm just looking, are you in a courtroom?
No,
Or-
I'm in my office.
Oh, well, I'm looking at the clock and it looks like something in a courtroom or a
This used to be the grand jury room.
grand jury room, okay, or conference room or something. Okay. All right, so with that, are we ready to get on the record in the Langford matter? And is the department seeking termination of the father's rights? The interests
Yes.
of ERL for a final trial. All right, is everyone ready? Ms. Lesniak,
Yes.
Ms. McPherson,
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Moore. All right.
Yes.
Okay, calling for father, Ms. McPherson's client, Joshua Langford. Joshua Langford. Joshua Langford. Joshua Langford. No answer. No one in the virtual courtroom by that name, nor is anyone presently in the waiting room. Joshua Langford. If somehow you're on and you can hear me, sir, unmute your device. If you're on the phone, press *6 to unmute Joshua Langford. All right, no answer. Okay. My understanding is there is an agreement to commence the trial on the merits. If that's not your agreement, let me know at this time. Also, I want to inquire whether there's an agreement to defer any openings to our reset date. All right,
Yes.
there
Yes,
appears
Your Honor.
there appears to be. Okay, then Ms. Jones, if you will raise your right hand, please, ma'am, we'll get you
Ma'am.
sworn in.
How are you familiar with it?
I'm the caseworker on the case.
How long have you been on the case?
Maybe almost a year. Sorry, I don't really know. I know it was around last summer, but I think it was maybe around September-ish.
Sure. And I don't want to say the child's name or anything, but where is the child right now?
She's placed in the RTC in Ingram.
And have you had any contact with the child's mother?
No, ma'am, I have not.
Are you aware of whether or not the child's mother has signed a relinquishment of her rights?
She has, yes, ma'am.
And has that relinquishment, or has that been ordered?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you had any contact with the child's father?
I have not.
Since the pendency of this case, he hasn't appeared or contacted you in any way whatsoever.
That's correct.
Have you made efforts to try to contact him?
That's correct.
What efforts have you made?
So I will call his phone. I will send text messages. I will write letters. I've completed a finder's report on December the 11th of 2023. And I've also did a thing to serve him by publication.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you, Ms. McPherson.
And he was properly served with publication, and that's been filed with the court, correct?
That's correct.
Have you done anything after to locate any other family members on his side of the family?
Yes, the finders was complete on December the 11th of 2023.
And has any letters gone out to his family members?
Yes, we didn't receive any responses back though.
Any phone calls, receive any phone calls or anything like that?
Nothing, no phone calls, no texts, emails, letters, nothing.
Now, there was a brother that was gotten a hold of at one point. Is that correct?
A brother, I want to say maybe an uncle. And he just wanted to have a relationship with Ilana.
And what happened with that? As far as with the uncle and a relationship with the child?
I heard no more from him.
And when was that?
Months back. I can't give you a time frame because I didn't write it down. I didn't know y'all was going to ask me, but it's been way months ago.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass you as a witness.
All right, thank you, Ms. Moore.
Is the child doing well in the RTC?
She's doing well.
Biological family has been identified for her. Is that correct?
Yes, a half sibling.
Okay. That half sibling was adopted when that sibling was an infant, correct?
That's correct.
This child has been having visits, both virtual and in person, with that half sibling and that half sibling's adoptive parents, correct?
That's correct.
Those have been going well, correct?
Those visits have been going well.
Now that she's out of school, the department is, the department, CASA and myself, we've all staffed and agreed to allow her to go to their home for 2 to 3 weeks. Is that correct?
That's correct.
After that, she'll come back to her RTC for a week. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And after that, she'll go back and do another 2 to 3 weeks as long as everything went well the first time, correct?
Correct.
Are they interested in adopting her?
Yes, they are.
It's the department's goal at this point.
The goal is to get her there if we have no issues or no problems or concerns after we staff with you. And then if it goes well, we plan to place.
Do you believe that these visits are in her best interest?
At this time, yes, ma'am.
Pass the witness. And I would move for a recess at this time.
All right, thank you. Any objections?
No objections.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. The court does find that we have commenced the trial on the merits. 90 days from today, again, is September the 11th, 2024. The trial is hereby recessed until July the 16th, in person at 9 a.m.
Your Honor,
9 a.m.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to let you know that I submitted Alana's little court report that she did to you yesterday because we weren't sure about the time frame we would have for her to speak with you today.
Okay. Would you mind terribly emailing that to my coordinator, Ms. Wallingford?
Sure.
Okay,
I can do that.
Great. Thank you.
Mhm.
And so we are in recess. Ms. Moore, I do have time to visit with the child virtually this morning, and we do have a court reporter, of course. So I should have indicated that a little earlier for you to make arrangements. But is it possible that we could get her on pretty soon?
Yes, if you'll allow me to mute, I can get her. I can call the facility now.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I may be moving off camera sometimes. I have a new helper.
Oh.
She or he?
She.
She's beautiful.
She is cutie, isn't she?
Can I make a motion we leave her on so everybody kind of maintains a good vibe?
Sure. I can bring her up periodically.
How can you get fussy with that face?
Oh golly, isn't that cute? She's just so cute. We've only had her a week, so she's in the toothing phase, so she likes to chew on fingers.
Okay, I can see Ms. McPherson. Can you hear us, Ms. McPherson? All right. Apparently she's on one of the grandkids' devices. Okay. No bragging. We know that's not virtual background. Wow. Okay, that's enough. All right. I believe we have Mr. Schmidt present. Very good. All right. Calling cause number 4, show cause hearing for the department to give me good cause, if at all, not to order an extended visit of the girls with the father that would run through the trial date, which again is 2 weeks from today. So, Ms. Walker, you may call your first.
Call Ms. Caban-Quianes.
All right. The court will, I'm sorry, Ms. Walker. The court will note that the father, Troy Lynn Schmidt, is present. Let me just call for the mother real fast. Latasha Burks. Latasha Burks. Latasha Burks. No answer, nor is anyone presently in the waiting room. Again, we are proceeding virtually by agreement and pursuant to Texas Government Code sections 24.017 and 74.094. All right. So sorry about that delay, Ms. Walker. You may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Ms. Caban-Quianes, have you had the opportunity to assess the question that the judge has asked in regards to whether or not the children, in particular, the girls in the case that have not been returned home, shouldn't be allowed to have an extended visit until the trial date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what is the department's position at this time?
We believe it's not in the girl's best interest at this time to have an extended visit.
And why do you feel it's not in the girl's best interest at this time?
Well, the department still have concerns that Mr. Schmidt has not addressed our concerns throughout the case, and we believe he needs to continue working on his service plan.
And what in particular are you, when you say concerns, what do you mean?
So the department's concerns with Mr. Schmidt are the substance use and potential substance use, and our prior concern as well of domestic violence. They have not been addressed.
And now, are you saying that he is not, I guess, complied with his service plan?
Well, at this time, Mr. Schmidt has only completed his drug and alcohol assessment and has attended his visitation with the children. But as part of the rest of the plan of service and the rest of our concerns have not been addressed.
Okay. And what is the department's main concern at this time?
The substance use.
Okay. And when you say it's a concern, now Mr. Schmidt did drug test for the department, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And have you asked him to do a subsequent drug test?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did he comply?
He has not been consistent with drug screening.
So are you saying, did he comply? Well, you're saying he's not consistent, but has he complied when you ask him to go and drug test?
He has not attended drug screening for the department for a few months. I know we did attempt it the last time and we were unable to But he also didn't reach out to confirm that there was issues with the drug screening facility.
Okay. And what type of issue was there with the drug testing facility?
Well, after I confirmed that the drug screening facility was available and the time and everything, and I did reach out to the facility, they did not mention to me that they only provided services for work-related drug screening. They didn't tell me that they did not provide testing for court-ordered cases.
Okay. And was there another location that was provided?
Well, I did not know about the situation until the next day. And he did get the 24-hour notice, and we did confirm and talk the day of the testing as well. And the closest locations that would allow this would be Jasper.
Okay. And what else in regards to the service plan are you concerned about?
Well, at this time, Mr. Smith has not completed his BIP assessment. He has not completed parenting classes.
Now you say he had, I'm sorry, go ahead.
He is not compliant with his recommendations from his drug and alcohol assessment as well at this time.
And you said that he hasn't complied in regards to BIP. Why was he asked to, I guess, have an evaluation or participate in BIP classes?
Well, there were concerns of domestic violence due to what statements from the children and from the mother during the case.
Okay. And anything else that he hasn't complied with at this time?
I do know that he's employed, but he has not provided employment verification. But that one is not. I know he's currently providing for the children. I understand that, but we do not have employment verification at this time, and I can't recall anything else at this time.
Okay. Now, have you had the opportunity to visit the home?
Yes, ma'am.
And any concerns about the home itself?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Any concerns in regards to the two boys, the children that have been placed with him?
No, ma'am. They seem to be happy, healthy. The only delay was on getting them services, but they have been working on achieving this, on verify and finding providers and finding insurance. So I understand it is a process.
Okay. And so what is the department asking the court to do in regards to the extended visitation until the trial date?
So at this time, we believe that it's in the best interest for the girls to remain in their current placement until we resolve.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Ms. McPherson.
I think she indicated no questions, Judge.
I believe so. Thank you, Ms. Bythewood.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, this is a non-offending parent. Is that correct?
Mr. Schmidt was not involved in the investigation, but as part of the case, we had our concerns related to history and allegations.
Objection, non-responsive.
Sustained.
He is a non-offending parent, isn't he?
Yes, ma'am.
He is living in the state of Louisiana, and that's where he's always been. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
It's been difficult with the services in Louisiana. Is that correct?
Initially, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you're talking about statements from the children and the mother, this is the same mother with extreme mental health problems. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is the same mother who basically brainwashed these children. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But since he's been visiting with the kids, since he's been adjudicated to be their father, their visits have gone just wonderfully, haven't they?
Visits have been well, yes, ma'am.
Okay, safe and appropriate, and you have no concerns. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
He has always had one child in his home. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And he admitted to drug use at the end of December. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And as a mandatory reporter, you had to call that into Louisiana, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And to your knowledge, did Louisiana remove the child that was in his home or do anything regarding that drug use?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And so this court has placed the two young men, his two sons with him. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And at the time that the court placed the children in his care, you as in transition from DFPS to the agency, you were not able to drug test this father. Is that correct?
There were some issues for drug screening, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that was on y'all's end.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, to the point where I paid for it and got reimbursed. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was an instant test and a urinalysis, and those both came back negative?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so at this time, the domestic violence, have you seen any indication that that is an issue except from what mom told the kids to say?
Well, at this time, I have not observed any marks or bruises or anything on the children that might indicate potential family violence.
Okay, and there's not been an outcry from the boys, and there's not been an outcry from the child that's in his home that that's an issue?
Not at this time.
All right. And the child that's in his home does have some emotional, mental health needs that he has been meeting this whole time. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so when you say that it's not in the children's best interest, the children that are there are doing fine, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And the girls want to go, don't they?
Yes, ma'am, they do.
Okay. And it's kind of, they're chomping at the bit because they see their brothers there right now, right?
Well, yeah, they have knowledge that their brothers are home, yes.
Okay. And I understand the position that the department's in because you have to cross state lines and you're really not supposed to do that, not the department, agency. But at this time, is the main concern more that he's not complied or completed a service plan as opposed to actual harm to the children?
One of the concerns would be that he's not compliant with his plan of service, which is not addressing the concerns that we had since the beginning of the case.
Right, but those are your concerns. Those aren't his concerns or my concerns. Those are the agency's concerns, right?
Yes, these are the concerns of the agency.
Okay, but what he has demonstrated is that he can take care of a child in his home and meet those child's mental health needs, that the two children who were being discharged from one placement to a more restrictive placement are doing well, and he's working through the red tape of getting help for them. So he's actually demonstrating good parenting, isn't he?
Yes, ma'am, he is.
All right. Thank you. I'll pass you as a witness.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Keating.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Quinones, are there any concerns about the safety of the girls if they go to visit with Mr. Schmidt until the trial?
Well, the home is appropriate, and I know that the boys are well and are safe. I do understand that the girls also have their services already established in their current placement, and that would also be a delay because I understand that they'll have to add them to their insurance, so it will be also an interruption on their services.
Non-responsive after that. There wasn't anything that she was concerned about. Everything else was additional.
Sustained.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I just wanted to know if there were concerns about their safety.
No, sir.
the boys are doing well there now, the two boys in this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
Have you been told about or had any information about the visit that the younger boy had with his psychiatrist? Have you been updated about that?
No, sir.
Okay, well, I think that they had an appointment after we had court last, and I just wanted to know if you had gotten any information or if they had gotten any information to you.
The last time we spoke, that visit was rescheduled.
Oh, okay. All right. But they are working on getting in that child's, I don't think we're on Zoom. But that child's name is okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
And Your Honor, I believe we are on YouTube.
Okay, well then I won't do that again. Thank you. Other than the concerns about the father not completing his service plan, which is what the department wants, are there any concerns, or can you raise any concerns about the girls going to visit with their brothers for the next 2 weeks, basically?
No, sir.
Thank you. I don't have any further questions, Judge.
All right, thank you. Ms. Walker, any further questions of Ms. Caban-Quiones? I have a few if you don't, or even if you.
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Caban-Quiones, do you know whether or not the girls know of the possibility of this extended visit?
Not at this time, sir. Placement is aware of the possibility, so they have their belongings arranged, or they have the idea, and what we coordinated with placement was for me to go and notify them y'all's decision today and communicate if they're going to their extended visit or not at this time.
Okay. Now, as far as you know, over the next 2 weeks, does either girl have any appointments scheduled?
They do see their psychologist weekly in home. And I don't know if they have a pending psychiatry appointment, but I do know that they see their psychologist weekly.
Okay, without naming the children or giving the name of any medications, are they on medications? And if so, do they have at least a 2-week supply?
They do both are under psychotropic medication, and I will have to verify with placement if they have enough for a 2-week supply.
Okay. Now, the father has had unsupervised with the girls for a while. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And remind me, have the boys taken part in any of those unsupervised?
No, sir. It was ordered no contact at this time because we didn't want it to upset the girls, knowing that they were at home.
Okay, right. Now, since December of 2023, and Mr. Schmidt's admission, I believe, to using marijuana, have you had any indication of drug use since then?
Your Honor, I apologize. I believe that it's my responsibility to correct the court. He admitted to cocaine use.
All right, cocaine. Actually, I do recall that now. Thank you. And even the testimony, I believe from him, actually, several hearings ago, I believe. So any since December 2023, any indication of drug use?
Well, I have not observed him to be under the influence and during visits or any of our interactions.
Any
But
concerning drug tests?
he has not been consistently drug screening since then. Well, throughout the whole case, we had issues with drug screening, either because he wasn't able to take the time off to go to Jasper to drug screen, or he was not paying for his own drug screening at that time.
Okay, and my question is a little more. It's different than that. Do you have any concerning drug tests since December of 2023?
No, sir, because he has not completed the drug screening. He's been due for a hair follicle that has not been completed.
All right, and you're asking me to order that at some point?
Yes, sir. That would be appropriate for him to complete drug screening, including hair follicle.
Okay, while this case has been pending, have there been, to your knowledge, any instances of domestic violence involving Mr. Schmidt?
No, sir. There has not been.
Okay. And so is it fair to say the last drug test results you have were the ones that he took the day of court, I think
Correct.
two settings ago? Now, I believe I understand your testimony in terms of the drug testing, but has he outright refused?
There has been conversations where he said that he cannot take the time off from work, and I understand that, but it's really important for him to drug screen and just confirm and verify that he's not using at this time any substance.
Do you know whether the Louisiana investigation involved a drug test or drug testing of him?
No, sir. I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Okay. So when it comes to the trial in 2 weeks, what is the department asking for as to the girls?
So the department cannot recommend at this time reunification due to non-compliance. We were staffing and consulting about potential requesting mediation, sir.
So here today, what are the department's primary permanency goals and concurrent goal?
It will be on related adoption, on related conservatorship.
And you're still asking for me to dismiss the boys' case, is that correct?
To my understanding, yes, sir.
Now, other than what you have testified to so far, do you have any concerns as to the father's ability to supervise or his ability to be protective?
No, sir, not at this time.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Walker.
I have no further questions.
Thank you. Any other questions of Ms. Gabon-Guiones from anyone? Anyone? All right. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Walker, you may call your next, if any.
No further witnesses at this time, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Ms. McPherson, any witnesses? Ms. Bythewood, any witnesses?
I was just going to call the father real quickly. He sent me a picture of the girl's bed, so I wanted the court to see that.
Okay. Does everyone have those pictures? Let me.
And I sent it to Cheryl, and I apologize for the late sending.
Well, I don't know what time you sent it, but I do have it. bear with me just a moment. I'm enabling the screen share feature if and when we need it. And so, Mr. Schmidt, if you'll raise your right hand to be sworn, please, sir.
Troy, I know that you've got a low battery, so I'm just going to get into it. Are you ready?
I got a charger now.
Oh, okay, good. I was worried. All right. You're the father of these girls, and you're asking for them to be able to come home for Father's Day weekend and stay with you until we have our trial at the end of the month. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've been able to set up some services. It's been slow going, but you're in a different state than Texas and have to use different insurance. Is that true?
Yes, and the boys have all been to their psychiatrist appointment. I just haven't been able to get a hold of. I haven't. It was just yesterday, so I haven't called my caseworker yet and told her about it.
Okay, and also their attorney, Mr. Keating, needs to hear about it just as quickly as Yuritsa does. It's because these are his kids too. Okay.
Yes.
And you sent me a picture this morning. Was that a true and accurate depiction of what the girls' beds look like?
Yes.
Was it altered in any way whatsoever?
No, ma'am.
All right, Your Honor, can I share that now?
You may. I've enabled the screen share feature, I believe. Any objections? Any objections to?
No, Your Honor.
No objection.
Oh, did I do it
Oh.
right? And I will go ahead and stop share. So you even have stuffed animals on the bed?
Yes, all the children love stuffed animals, so I have lots of them.
All right. And have you been able to meet with the lady who's in charge of your kids at the placement, Miss Madison?
No, I have never been to the placement. They always meet me with the girls and then pick them back up.
All right. And we have another dad who does. So I'm sorry, I got you confused with that. So at this time, I mean, are you using cocaine?
No, I've tried twice to give them a drug test, and both times there's been something wrong. Either the last time the hours were wrong, and then the previous time they got the hours wrong that they were open. And this last time I go up there to fast-paced urgent care, and when I get there, I sign in, and the lady then informs me of, just like Miss Yuritsa said, they do not do, all they do is work-related stuff, nothing court-related.
All right. And so you would have to go from.
She said immediately tried to reach out back to Miss Yuritsa, and she emailed her. So that's.
And the alternative is you driving from Louisiana to Jasper to drug test, and that's been difficult for you as well?
Yes, I have. I'm running my own crew for this guy, so I have men that work for me. So it's hard for me to take off. Otherwise, he's making no money. The jobs aren't getting done. He doesn't like that very well.
So it would literally cost you half a day of work?
Yes, and it would cost him 2 other men working plus me.
And I don't possibly your job.
Yeah, I'll probably lose my job over it.
So again, at this time, you know, you'll do what you need to do, but are you asking for the girls to come home until we can have trial?
Yes, ma'am.
And if the judge allows the children to come home until we have trial for an extended visit, were you planning on getting with law enforcement so that you can set up the same situation to where the mother would not be allowed on your property and law enforcement would be aware of that?
Yeah, all I would need from the court is something in writing stating that she cannot be around the girls. And then that's all. It's already filed for the boys with the sheriff's office here. So,
all right. Thank you, sir. I'll pass you as a witness.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Keating.
I don't have any questions, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Walker.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Any questions, Ms. McPherson? Okay. All right. Thank you. Back to you, Ms. Fightwood.
I have no further questions for him, but I do have another witness.
All right. Is that Ms. Castillo?
It is.
Okay, let Madison Castillo. Thank you, ma'am. You may proceed, Ms. Whitewood.
All right, Madison, could you please state your name and your relationship to the girls?
I'm Madison Castillo. I am their case manager at Castillo Children's Center where they're currently placed.
All right, and Ms. Castillo, you heard the judge ask the caseworker earlier about the girls' medication. Do they have a 2-week supply?
I am not sure. I would have to check my records. I can do that now if need be.
Well, if they do not have a 2-week supply, how difficult would it be for you to get a 2-week supply for them today?
That would be pretty difficult. It would be a matter of getting them an appointment, and because of the medications they're on, we can only get a certain amount at a certain time. So it's timed by the doctors. So that would be a little challenging.
I understand. If for some reason there was not a 2-week supply, how difficult would it be for them to get another prescription and when it's time to get it, with them being in Louisiana?
That's what I'm not sure of. I'm not sure, to be honest.
All right. And the type of medication they're on, if they miss a dose, how bad is that?
It could definitely affect their day-to-day functioning.
I mean, that was a goofy question because I know it's not good, but I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't something that it's psychotropic, right? It's not just
right.
Okay. All right. And do the girls know that this is a possibility?
No, we have not discussed that with them. I think they are aware of a potential visit, but I haven't discussed it with them just because nothing is set in stone.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. That's all the questions I have for you. So I'll pass you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Castillo, how hard would it be to do a simple pill count right now?
Not difficult at all. We do med checks daily. It would just be a matter of me going to lay eyes on it to be able to let y'all know what we have.
Okay. Would you mind terribly doing that while we're in session?
No problem. I can do that right now.
Okay, let me see if anyone else has any other questions, and the court certainly appreciates that. I know everyone does. So any other questions from anyone for Ms. Castillo?
Oh, I was going to ask about upcoming doctor visits. Do they have any oh, sorry, Dwayne, I'm reading your mind. If they have any upcoming doctor visits or counseling sessions?
So they do weekly counseling. I believe they've already seen their counselor this week. It would just be a matter of next week, of course. And I believe they're up to date on their well checks and immunizations and everything like that. I'm not sure when their next dental is. I would have to check my schedule as well. And I can do that at the same time that I check the meds.
All right. And can the counselor visit with them virtually?
I'm not sure with the insurance issues across state lines. That would be my only question.
Okay. Yeah. And I don't know what the department is able to do with them, but it would be a visit, not a placement. So that might help.
Right.
But I don't have any further questions. I just wanted to follow up with that.
Okay.
All right. Well, maybe the dad can drive them to, I don't know, Viter or Newton.
Yeah.
Have a virtual sessions. And also I would, I assume if the meds are going to run out within the next 2 weeks, there will have been an appointment made with the psychiatrist. And I would want the department to make reasonable efforts to facilitate that appointment to be virtual. So let Ms. Castillo, we'll let you go for a moment if you don't mind terribly doing that. Thank you so much, and you can report back as soon as you've done that. Thank you.
Okay,
so
thanks.
You can mute and stop your video. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other witnesses from anyone?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
I just feel like Michelle's teasing us, Your Honor.
Yeah, I do too, Amy. I was thinking the same thing.
Because she's sending me pictures of the sunsets and then the pretty. We're just going to have to figure out payback with our next Zoom hearing.
Maybe I'll go somewhere nice, although I doubt it.
if anyone deserves it, she does. So I'm just
Absolutely,
using-
absolutely, Amy, absolutely.
I'm sorry, were you all just waiting on me?
Yes, ma'am, basically.
I just
But
want to make sure I wasn't interrupting anything.
okay,
Okay.
let me make sure we have everyone back. Okay, Ms. Madison Castillo is on the stand. And all right, you may report back.
Okay, so I checked on their dentals and they're not due for a dental until August, so we're good on that. They are up to date on medicals. They won't be due, I think, until January of next year. And so it looks like they have 28 days of their stimulants, so their ADHD medications, and 21 days of the medications that they take for sleep at night. And so they have at least 3 weeks worth of each medication. And their next appointment is on the 25th. And that would be done virtually. So we may have some wiggle room with that.
And the appointment is with for whom and with whom?
It is for both of the girls, and it's with EverHealth, a clinic in Lufkin, for their psychotropic medication refills.
Okay.
And reviews.
Okay. All right. Very, very good. Any questions further from anyone else? All right. May this witness be excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Ms. Castillo, we cannot thank you enough. You are excused. Thank you for all the work you do. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Y'all too.
All right. Any other witnesses? Anything else from anyone else? Any requests for arguments?
Your Honor, as the guardian ad litem for the girls, I have no issue with them visiting until the trial. I think they will be safe, and I think it probably would be in their best interest to have a chance to start bonding with their brothers again and their dad.
All right. And so Mr. Keating, of course, is in a dual.
I'm sitting in here for Bonnie, I think, today too.
Yes. Yes. Okay. At this time, based on the evidence in the best interests of not just the girls, but all 4 of the children, the subject of the suit, the court does hereby order an extended visit beginning today, if at all possible, of the girls with their father and siblings at their home in Louisiana, his home in Louisiana. The court further orders that when the boys and girls are together, that they not be unsupervised. Further, that there be no contact between the mother and any of the children of any kind, direct, indirect, personal, virtual, any kind, until further order of the court. Also, that the department to make reasonable efforts, given the distance and the interstate matter, make reasonable efforts, notwithstanding that any services that occur during this extended visit, the department will make reasonable efforts to try to facilitate those being virtual. In terms of the end date or duration to this extended visit, the court will defer that decision until June the 28th. And the court, having heard evidence of the girls' appointment on the 25th, I don't think there should be any concerns whatsoever with and that the visit is scheduled to be virtual. There should not be any visits with or concerns, problems with the children's medications. If there is a concern because of the 2 states, then we'll take that up on 628. As it sounds like the children have uh, 28 days of one med and 21 days of the other. So we'll take that up if need be on 6/28. All right, the court makes these orders in the best interest of the children and based on their best interest and also for their safety. While I'm looking over my notes here, if anybody else has anything else, let me know.
Your Honor, I believe that there was a mention of mediation. At this time, I don't think that that would be successful based on the mother's unknown. We don't know where she's at and her mental instability. But I think that when we get to trial, if we were in mediation, even though the department's goals are not family reunification, I think that we might be aligned in an end goal. Because I think that they're fixing to file, and I'm not putting words in Ms. Walker's mouth, but I think that they might be filing for a dismissal of the girls just based on policy.
All right. All right. So I'm not going to order mediation. If you all want to conference informally or try to negotiate something as to the father, certainly that's fine, obviously, but I'll not order mediation at this point. So, okay. Anything else from anyone else? Again, our trial, final trial, June the 28th at 1:30. Our dismissal date is July the 15th, 2024.
Your Honor, Ms. McPherson has said that she can't hear you. Maybe she be excused.
She may be excused. Yes. In fact, that concludes this hearing. I'll sign an order to that effect. Who's preparing it?
Ms. Bythewood probably should.
Ms. Bythewood probably should. However, Ms. Bythewood has a stack of orders, and I would not get to it until at least after the final trial. And Miss Lori and Miss Brianna are very angry at me right now.
All right. So is there any question concerning what I've ordered today? All right. Okay. Well, I will sign an order electronically as soon as I see it. With that, you all are excused. Thank you all very, very much. Father, it remains, Mr. Schmidt, that I admonish you like I always do and have to, that if at the end of this case, if you're not willing and able to provide a safe environment for your children, your parental rights may be further restricted or even terminated permanently. So I know you understand that. I know you don't want it to happen. So work your services and keep doing what you're doing and keep not doing what you're not doing. So with that, you all are excused.
Yeah, I have a question in regards to the order. If your order saying that the department should do the order, we may need some assistance with getting that worded and completed the way it needs to be.
Okay, so I've ordered the extended visit of the girls with the father. I've ordered the extended visit to begin today. I've deferred a ruling on when, if at all, it should end to the trial date of 6/28. So that extended visit shall continue until further order of the court. When the boys and the girls are together, they shall be supervised by the father or his designee, and I would expect that to either be his mother or his significant other. No contact with the mother of any kind whatsoever until further order of the court. My orders are based, the aforementioned orders are based on the safety of the children and in their best interest. Also, the department is to make reasonable efforts during said extended visit that all of the girls' services be done virtually. So may not be possible, but again, reasonable efforts.
And now is this part of I can't remember never mind. I was trying to figure out if it was part of a permanency hearing, but I think it was just a hearing on our motion to dismiss that prompted this hearing.
I
Joe
had
called,
another motion within the motion that I didn't give you notice of.
and that's what this hearing was for, was that other motion.
So this is Amy's motion? We'll get Amy's assistance and.
Well, I appreciate that Amy Vargas is doing this.
Huh?
I said it for a show cause, basically for the department to show why I should not grant Ms. Bythewood's previous motion. The department's motion to dismiss the boys, I took that under advisement and am still taking it under advisement.
Okay.
So I've neither denied nor granted that.
And I would be more than happy to do it. I apologize. I'm just buried with orders right now. And they're all strange.
I'll bet Amy
Okay.
Vargas could take a run at it and get it over to all of us.
Well,
If we
that's
make changes, we can get it done.
Well, I think it's clear enough for everybody to start the wheels rolling. And again, hopefully today, at the latest tomorrow, the visit can start. Certainly, I envisioned Father's Day. But if today is possible, it should be today.
so, but no later. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes.
Oh, sorry. I'm able to transport. I'm just asking Mr. Schmidt, when is he available?
Okay. Ms. Bond, thank you very much.
And that was just my question. If not today, when was the deadline? Or it could be tomorrow. If she wouldn't have been able to make it today.
Okay, so it sounds like today is a possibility. Did you need something from Mr. Schmidt?
Just what time would he be available to receive them home? So I can coordinate with placement and transport? Because it will be a few hours to pick up, transport.
Oh, okay, sure. Can you answer that now, Mr. Schmidt? What time could you all receive the girls?
Anytime after 3:30.
And because of Yuritsa's schedule, if she needed to do before 3:30, can she call you and you make it happen?
Yes, that's perfectly fine. Anytime.
Okay, that's the best answer. Anytime.
Okay, and I believe Ms. Gaban-Guillon has heard that, yes? Okay, very good. Thank you all very, very much for all that you're doing. Okay, with that, you all are excused. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. And permanency review after everybody's final order. We still have Mr. Keating in a dual role here. So let me get everyone who may testify. If you all will raise your right hands to be sworn, please do you all swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God, yes?
Do.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Walker, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, I call the caseworker. Would you go ahead and state your name, please?
Mackenzie Bergay.
And currently, where's the child placed?
He is currently placed in a home that is intended to be permanent placement, that they intend to adopt him.
And now is he in a home with a sibling as well?
Yes.
Okay. And how's he currently doing?
He's doing very well.
Okay. Anything that he needs or the placement needs that the court should address today?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. And is he seeing any doctors or other healthcare providers at this time?
He does not have any therapeutic services. He is due for his 15-month medical appointment. His dentals are up to date. Other than his just that little medical appointment, no other specialist or anything like that.
Okay. And how old is he now?
He's 1.
Okay. And I believe you said he's in an adoptive placement. What is the permanency goal for him?
The permanency is unrelated adoption.
At this time, well, first of all, is there any anticipated date for completion of the adoption?
So, to my knowledge, I'm not the primary worker. I'm filling in for her, but to my knowledge, it's in the process. We haven't had the case super long. Termination of rights has kind of just been happened. So we are getting them the subsidy packet. They can fill that out, and then we will submit that, have the negotiations done, and then we can set a date.
Okay, so we're still a little ways out.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. At this time, are you asking that he remain in his current placement
Yes.
and that the department or agency continue as the permanent managing conservator?
Yes, ma'am.
And you feel this is in his best interest?
I do.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Keating.
Your Honor, I don't have any questions. Would just ask that Ms. Begay, if you could, Ms. Welch has my email address, I'm sure somewhere. So would you make sure that the current caseworker, please send me an email so that I'll know who it is?
Yes.
So that I can follow up with her.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much and have a great day. I don't have any further questions, Judge.
Okay. And if you know, ma'am, has the sibling or have the siblings been adopted yet?
I do not think that they have. I think that the current placement also wants to adopt a sibling as well.
All at the same time, Judge, is what my understanding is.
Mhm.
Okay. Very good. Very good. All right. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Any other questions or witnesses, Ms. Walker?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Any other witnesses or recommendations, Mr. Keating?
No witnesses, Your Honor, and I think that DT needs to stay where he's at, and we'll move as quickly as possible, as reasonably possible, to adoption.
All right.
He's in a great home.
Okay, and Ms. Welch, if you don't agree with that, you can be sworn in and chime in.
Totally agree.
Okay, very good. All right, so if there's not anything else, the court will continue PMC with the department, approve of the department's primary permanency goal, and certainly order that the placement shall continue. And the court makes all of the requisite findings. We thank Ms. Welch very much. Hopefully we will not need a hearing date. Hopefully the adoption will be consummated before the time for our next hearing. I hope I or some other lucky judge gets to do the adoptions. But our next hearing, if we need it, November the 22nd, at 9 a.m. And that should be in person. Again,
I have it on my birthday.
If we need it. Surely not.
It is my birthday, Judge, the 22nd. So
congratulations. Well, I'm surely not
being
something.
Yes, we'll have to have somebody do something. No, let's not celebrate this one.
Okay. Well, I'm just a few months older than you then. So
just a few.
Okay. Well, I believe that concludes the docket. So thank you all very, very much for all of your long, hard, good work. And we will stand adjourned, and everybody have a wonderful weekend.
Have a wonderful
Thank
weekend.
you.